All right, I'd like to call to order this East Ascension Consolidated Drainage, Gravity Drainage District Number 1 meeting, June 11th at 6:50 p.m. Call to order, let's see, we're missing Ms. Alonzo, Mr. Mason, and Mr. Orsino. Mr. OJ, would you like to lead us in the invocation of the pledge? Thank you, sir.
Bow our head. Dear Lord, bless this great country, bless this great state, bless this great parish, and bless every council member on this board to do the right thing. And most of all, Lord, bless the Armed Forces Service members to give us the right to make the decision for our community. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Joseph. Agenda item number 3, public comment period. Anyone wishing to speak on an item is encouraged to do so. You can fill out a red or green card to my left, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak on that item should you choose. Item number 4, acceptance of meetings. Acceptance of May 7, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved.
I've got a motion from Commissioner Melanson, a second from Commissioner Varnado. Any questions? Okay. Any objections? No. Hearing none. I want to make a announcement that Mr. Robert has left. Not sure if he's left for the afternoon. So there we are. Item number 5, Chairman's report or announcements. I have no announcements or any changes or anything like that as presented. So moving on to general business. Item 6A, approval to enter into a subrecipient agreement with East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District for Louisiana Watershed Initiative, LWI, Round 2, for the management of the John LeBlanc detention improvements located in Bayou Conway Basin.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Melanson, second by Mr. Joseph. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Item number 6B, approval to enter into a sub-recipient agreement with the East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District for Louisiana Watershed Initiative, LWI, Round 2, to manage the Lower Bayou Conway drainage improvements located in the Lower Bayou Conway Basin.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Melanson, second by Commissioner Hillisbeck. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, so moved. Item number 6C, approval of recommendation to the full council to proceed with an ordinance declaring surplus and authorizing the sale and or transfer of miscellaneous movable equipment to 1998 Sunshine Homes Manufactured Home, VIN ALS04681.
So moved.
Move, Mr. Melanson. Second by Mr. Hillingsbeck. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, so move. Item number 6D, approval of a resolution of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, in support of dredging the Amite River. Motion by Mr. Hillingsbeck, second by Mr. Turner. All right, any questions on the item? Any objections? Hearing none, so moved. 6E, approval of an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Ascension Parish Government, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1, and the West Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District. Motion by Mr. Joseph. Second by Mr. Melanson. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Item number 7A, drainage report. Mr. Jade, ready to go?
Good evening. Thank you for having us this evening. So I bring you our March through May drainage report. There we go. So March through May, you see total work order status of 495 work orders. Completed at this time, 223. On hold, 47. In progress, 30. Approved at this time are 131, and there are 64 new, which I would think comes at the end of May. Total orders work orders March through May, 223 completed by department. Minor east drainage 115, culvert maintenance 83, waterway 12, major east ascension drainage 12, EA board, you guys, which is through the call center, is 1. So explain the low numbers in waterway and major drainage. It is large projects, removing trees. It's multiple and long distances when they do these. So one work order covers a lot of ground. The major east ascension drainage is long lateral work. So these are projects that are, sometimes months, sometimes weeks. So to see 10 or 12 in that period of time is actually a good thing. So this here just gives you a breakdown of the completion rate per month. So 75 in March, 83 in May, 66, 83 in April, 66 in May. That was wrong. That was the new work orders, for a total of 224. So your completed was 223, so 52 in March, 71 in April, and 100 in May. Okay. So this is something that's kind of new I wanted to give in to y'all because it does affect our operations, but it is part of what we do to support our residents and the maintenance and upkeep and flood control of Ascension Parish. So during this 3-month process, we had 42 call-outs. Call-outs exist of anything from tree debris. That is 42 work orders. It's not 42 trees. That could be 2 trees down, 3 trees down. It could be 2 call-outs on the same road, but it is 1 work order. So everybody can kind of remember, I want y'all to kind of focus in on that top line on May. You see 25 call-outs. You had 2 very vicious weather events in May that was kind of wind-related. That's why you see the number of call-outs there. Go back to your pumping events. We had 9 pumping events. Out of those 9 pumping events, 8 of those pumping events, we had staff at tractor sites also. It was not just pumping stations. So it gives you kind of an idea of where our staff is going and how long they're working these events before they can return to maintenance. So it's a very valuable part of our operation, but it does take away from some of the maintenance and work order that we do. I thought that was a very important one to add in for y'all. So tree removal and culverts, 42 total work orders, 21 in the waterways. Remember, these are multiple trees. 16 minor east, 5 major east, culvert and driveways, 85 total, 73 for survey, 12 for EAD, and work orders complete 22 at this time, 12 for survey, 10 for EAD. Survey work orders can be very large. We also use our survey department for our future and prior maintenance. We need that valuable data before we dig and we understand where water flows and what type of elevations that we're going to use to make that happen. So we do share those responsibilities with these work orders. So kind of going into that survey, I just kind of want to touch on a project we're working on right now, which is Moran Park. As of today, we have got eight out of the first 14 signatures to go ahead and start on Pappy. This is one of 3 phases. So I'm estimating hopefully next week we're able to start this project. But I kind of wanted to give y'all a focus, and this is more for the public out there if they're watching. When you look at these surveys, you can see the square property markers. This neighborhood was developed and built in the 60s. All of this stuff had to be developed now so that we could understand the drainage in there and where this impacted our property lines, where it impacted these residents, and how we draw up our servitudes. So thanks to a lot of the new processes we put in place, this kind of helps give an understanding why Clint has worked so hard to develop these processes. This allows us to update and upgrade our GIS layer. 10 years down the road, when maybe none of us are here, maybe some of us are here, you're going to go right to work here to do this maintenance again. So,
Jay, I don't want to interrupt you too bad. Is this the neighborhood where these individuals came to the last drainage meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want to make sure
Absolutely.
this was them. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So I brought this one in right behind it. This is one that our survey team is working on right now. So they've already done more in. This was, I've gotten several requests here. I've also gotten a little request from Mr. Turner. This is in Darrow. This is Main Street, Martin Luther King Street area. This is 9 streets in here. It's a very, very flat part of the parish. So we're doing the same thing in here. It's an old neighborhood. Culverts are probably undersized. They're probably out of series. It's a ton of work in there. You just don't go dig it. So we're doing assessments right now. So elevations, what's the outfalls look like. We don't want to just go in there and dig it, create ponds, mosquito havens, and we don't do any good here. Rotten culverts. And then we can come back in here and give y'all some kind of cost and say, what do we as a parish, what are we responsible for? And how do we move forward to get these residents in good shape again? So just wanted y'all and the residents kind of know where we are with that. So they'll see our survey crews in this area right now. Also, Spellman Road, I didn't put a picture in there. Spellman Road is in my top 3 with that Darrow area. There's a couple little small ones that are just kind of minimal, what we do every day, but there's 4 or 5, I think. I've worked with a couple of y'all. So major drainage projects. Right now, we did receive our shredder machine down. The actual shredder unit that goes on it is in a machine shop. At this time, I have no clue when we're going to receive it back. I hope it's in the very near future. A lot of work's being done to it, but the machine is ready to go into action as soon as we receive that head. We're digging McKinley-Anderson lateral, Highway 30 to New River. Joe Boy Road box culverts have been installed. They're dressing them up at this time. They're almost complete. Joe Boy is open. We're just doing the dress-up work, and you'll see that. It's one of my highlights at the end. Digging Stevenson lateral, West Road lateral, Henry Road, Fairground lateral. Right now we're doing the dress up and hauling dirt, almost complete on that. A little in-house project is our Lamar Dixon FEMA lot. Everybody knows during hurricane season we have to have a place to store these trees. They come in at the end of the project and they grind them up and haul them off. So we're working with OEP within drainage to provide that facility. We do have we're down to the ground level now. We're going to start shaping it within the next week or so. So hopefully in June, we're pretty solid for hurricane season. We took the time over these 3 months to remediate our areas where our pump tractors are. So we went in there, we brought major drainage in, we revamped the sump areas, dug them, gave a little more volume. We worked with resetting those tractor pumps to a good elevation where we were getting full pump downs. So those areas are, we have 1 pump in Sorrento on Main Street, Astroland, and the Buxton subdivision. Guys, I'm telling you, the last couple of rain events were pretty good rain intensities. It was numerous the way we were able to control it and get that water out of there. It's very hard when you don't have a good sump because you're waiting for the water to get there and you're holding it back. But whenever you can allow that pump to keep coming and pulling it and getting it into that sump, it works great. But kudos to our team. They did an awesome job doing this. So we're ready to do what we need to do for the parish when it comes to rain events on that end. As soon as we leave Joe Boy Road, looks like next week we're going to be moving to the Arthur Smith property, replacing a current old wooden bridge with a box culverts that was voted by your last council, or drainage board, I'm sorry. So that is our next major drainage project with our box crew. This is the start of Joe Boy. This is kind of just one of my highlights. This is Mr. Jamie Brown's crew. The idea of this double run of boxes, the amount of work it takes to do it, and where we're at in this stage of it. So that's pretty much the product today. They're finishing the last cleanups on it right now. But as I said, the road is open to the public now, so I think that's the most important part at the moment, and we can flow water. 12 Oaks drainage improvements. Worked with Mr. Vornado on this. It's a much needed project. It's been over a year. We have crews in there. This is a couple photos I took of the first day or so out there on this job site. Kind of wanted to show you guys why we don't want our crews in here and what it takes to do this job. Look at the utilities going through there. None of these utilities showed up on Dottie's. Some of these were bored through these outfall pipes. So that was some of the problems of why we actually had issues there. And you can see the amount of fall, the amount of excavation it takes to the proximity of these houses. This crew's doing a great job. There are some adjustments that were made due to these utilities. They have to come in and pour an offset box to lower that pipe down, which, look, we had plenty fall, so Mr. Monso's done a great job with the engineering on that and working with them day by day to keep this project rolling. So I'm kind of estimating probably 2 weeks at this time. We're well within the time allowed to do this job. Spoke with Mr. Monso this morning. Some of the adjustments we made, at this time, we're predicting that there will be no change orders for an increase in pay rate on this job. So we're very happy with the progress we're at right now. We've actually got pipes installed within 5 to 7 feet of the outfall of the pond at this time. So moving along pretty good. And that's kind of where we're at for this quarter.
Okay. Mr. Jade, I do have a question, and maybe Mr. Jonathan can help as well. I do have questions sometimes from constituents about, sometimes they'll put in a work order and it's determined, like they'll put it for drainage, and it's determined it's a vegetation. What's the communication protocol for that? Do we have something yet where it's, hey, look, that's not a drainage thing, we're gonna close it and we're gonna reopen for vegetation, or do you know if we have anything in place like that right now?
Yeah, so we have worked with IT a little bit in the last couple of months to clear up some of these issues.
Okay.
We've seen where a work order may have even went to the West Bank, and we can't see that. So in the nature of everything comes to the East Bank, if it goes to vegetation, they should be able to reassign it to drainage.
Okay.
So we're working to fine tune that. We've also worked to fine tune some of the issues we've had with relaying with the app. Talking the same language that we speak whenever you call the phone, we found that our app needs some little bit of adjustments so that we're communicating effectively with the public. And I gotta say, look, IT, OEP, which houses the call center, they have done a very wonderful job of recognizing this, and we're starting to clean up some of those procedures now.
Good deal, appreciate it. Mr. Vorno?
Yeah, I just want to, like say, how much I appreciate what y'all doing. We all get a lot of calls, and I know it's a massive moving operation for y'all. It moves daily, so it's hard to track some of that stuff. I know we had some issues with the work orders. Y'all got that, I think, worked out, I believe. So, and Jared and them's doing a great job on the drainage project in 12 Oaks. I think they had some issues with elevation and whatnot, like you said, so I think it's coming along good, and any time that certainly in my constituents would call me, I think the biggest disconnect we got is the public, with the app, and it's our job to educate them and all of us parish employees and elected officials to educate the public on those things, because there's a lot of folks out there that don't even know the thing exists. So that's kind of an uphill climb for all of us, I think, but in due time, I guess. But I think y'all doing a great job. We had a call the other day from Beach Street, which is I don't think in my district, but y'all got right on it. I think y'all went out there and assessed some culverts or something, and I went by there. There was 2 driveways where they filled in the front yard, no culverting, and the main outfall was obviously through that yard, and I think y'all went and assessed it. I don't know where you're at on that, but so the response time, I know it's not perfect, but given the circumstances and part of moving as many moving parts as y'all got, it's definitely looking good to me.
Correct. Yeah, and sometimes it's a two or three layer, in that response, it would send pump trucks out to clear out the infrastructure that we had. And then on the back end of that response is to go out there and have drainage actually assess it and see what do we need to upgrade it and return it back to normal. And we got the reports, obviously, of the dry fields, so that's being looked at right now. In fact, assessment came back in this evening as I walked out, and it did show the dry fields, and we showed a couple culverts that were rotten. But yeah, those are the things we're trying to get more proactive and identify. But definitely, one of the things I guess the public really can help us with is work orders, 450-1200. Can't stress that enough. If we don't get a work order, you can call, you gotta have the work order. That's the only way we know it happens unless we assess it on a maintenance end, and it is a large parish. But definitely report it. It needs to go through the call center first. And an accurate description. The most accurate description, the app allows you to take a photo. That photo is very, very valuable. You guys know this from what y'all send me and email me. I can pretty much know who exactly is sent out there by the photos. So if I recommend anything is just communicate that to the public and understand that those are the tools that help us know what you need.
Chair,
Appreciate it. Yep, absolutely.
so I want to kind of touch on a few things because we got Jade as in operations and we got Johanna vegetation and Ron handles capital projects. And so some things we're working on that Jade touches on a little bit, but he doesn't quite go into that detail. And so these things will probably be coming to y'all in the months ahead, just so you have a sense of where we're headed. We're always looking to improve, and when we notice a deficiency, we attack it as a team. So the pump stations at Buston, Astroland, Gonzales, and then also in Sorrento. And great, we have the 2 grants that y'all voted on today to create some detention in Sorrento. If we can get past the LMI requirement from OCD, which seems to be always a tall order. I was at the ARBC, and one of my colleagues said, yeah, federal money, slow money, and he's right. The regulations for which it takes for us to produce these projects with federal money is just painstakingly slow. And so, but those sites, we are looking to change out those tractor pumps at those sites with mini pump stations. These are not large pump stations, but they are hooked to SCADA. So imagine how the Sorrento pump station works, right? It holds that water at certain levels. So we would go in, and I'll take Astroland in Mr. Turner's district, for example. We're going to go in and we're going to dig some sump ponds in there, and we're going to dig a deeper pond for storage of water. And then we'll put that electric pump in pump station with SCADA, and we'll hold it to a specific elevation. And we can also create capacity right before the rain event or during the rain event, before the water even gets to the pond. That's the control mechanism. Right now, we got to send crews out there. And Jay's got to run that operation. He's got to be on top of it constantly, every weekend, every day, every evening, every night. Jade has to monitor all of that. He works 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, because if it's coming, he's got to stay up all night, making sure those crews get out, making sure all that happens. So it's going to be a big tool for us when we can do that. Buxton's another example. Having pumps there in Buxton will allow us to keep those water down and provide that's tractor pumps. We got to send people out every time it rains to run those tractor pumps. And so being that automated is a huge win for us, and that'll be coming to you in the near future. Kind of wanted to point out, I'm not going to go back and take the time to go back and show you the picture of Jamie Brown. The Jamie Brown, as I call him, he's the guy, he's the supervisor. He was the guy with the boots down in the mud in the trench. I can't tell you the professional quality the man does and the hard-working ethic this guy has. He is a superstar. And if I could give employees at a month, he'd probably get 9 out of 12, because if you ever meet Jamie, he's one of the best personalities ever. But he is one of the most hardest working guys, and he's a supervisor, and he's down in the mud, in the trenches. He wears the rubber boots. He's running the calculations if you ever see him out there. Just kudos to Jamie and a professional job, and I'm glad you showed that picture, because that gives an idea of what it takes and the amount of steps it requires to do a project like that, and every one of his projects. I mean, they're just phenomenal. We're working to develop our own work order system. We're developing the software ourselves in-house. This is Brian Martinez and his group with Brenna and Cynthia and Dean and others. We got some superstars. Think about, we're going to develop our own work order software. We're going to get away from hiring from these companies in and out, and we're going to develop exactly what our supervisors need. And we're gonna tailor that supervisor to our supervisor, what they need in the field to create work orders on the spot, to manage those work orders, to fill in those things. And so, you know, that's something that you don't quite get to see all the time, but it's something we're working on internally every day. And that's huge, to be able to do that. Now, we've required us to purchase some platforms and software as that works. You know, we can't run it all. But Brenna and Brian Martinez and that team in there, to do that undertaking, we're starting with the boat crews first. But once we get that set, then we will be able to get that into every crew to where all those supervisors can tailor their iPad to make it simple, easy to use, and understand. The most difficult part is when we purchase this software, the guys who use it get frustrated. And they won't do it. They won't use it because they get this thing don't work, and, you know, I got to go through 50 steps to get to here. And so developing our own software so they can make that easy use in the field is going to be huge for us in the future. YouTube videos. We got communication working on YouTube videos. Pamela's on top of it, developing that. That's going to help to understand how to do these work order systems from the app. We're going to enhance these YouTube videos. If you want to know how to do something on your phone, what do? You go to YouTube, you type in what you want to do, and there pops up the video, and you watch somebody do it. We're going to start producing these videos ourselves. How to utilize these paraservices. So that anybody wants to know how to do something, pull up the video. We're going to have them all on there. And that's going to bleed over to permits, because we're revitalizing permits because of the struggles with permits. So we're going to show people how to do permits online and do that. And so we're really going to try to get out and show the people what our tools are and how to use them. And so that falls into drainage as well as putting those drainage work orders in on our app. So happy to answer any questions, but that's where we're headed. We're data-driven and technology-driven, and so we're headed in the right direction. But you don't get to see that much, and I just wanted to make sure I pointed it out.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Malonzo?
Yeah, you talked about like the supervisors having the iPads or tablets in the field. Like, will we have like the abilities? So right now I can go in there and track, like I put in a lot of work orders for my constituents. And you can, you know, supervisor, visited site, you know, in plan or whatever. Will we have the ability, I'm sorry, excuse me, like to post like some pictures of the completed project, right? Like, is that a capability that we'll have as well?
Yes, absolutely. No, that's what I use to follow up Jay's work, Johan's work, any recreation work. I want to see the before and after.
Yeah, I love that.
All the text in the middle is great. I want to see you before. I want to see the problem, and I want to see it after. So yeah, absolutely.
Right, because we all know some of these work orders, they affect me, but they might be a quarter mile, half mile, a mile down the road, right? And especially for my senior citizens, right? Who, you know, he can't go on a mile hike or whatever. You know, whenever he asks me for an update, instead of me, you know, aggravating one of y'all, hey, do we have an update? I can just go in there and screenshot and send me the picture and say, yes, sir, it's 80% complete, it's almost 100%, you know, things like that. So
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that aspect. So,
Yeah, we're working on that.
cool, thank you.
All right, anything else? Any other questions? Appreciate it, Mr. Rebb.
Thank you.
Item number 7B, vegetation.
I have one more thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I have one more thing.
Mr. Varnado.
The administration, I just had a quick question. Do we have the ability, I think me and Jay talked about it, we met Friday. Do we have the ability to get our hands on concrete, like those barricaded blocks, you know, that a vehicle can't move? We have it's funny, but I mean, there's an issue in a subdivision in my district, and obviously you can't, you know, people tear down stuff all the time, and it's hard to mitigate that in some instances, but I'd suggested some concrete blocks that, I mean, you would have to tie your vehicle to if you want to move it, just like you see on the interstate or anything like that. Not the big ones in the center lane ones, but the ones, you know, with rebar sticking out, you know, that you can stack on top of each other. Do we have where we can get a hold of anything like that, or is it something that we've ever purchased or something in the
I think
parish?
it would be project specific, but I'm sure we could. We can just about order anything, but project specific, sure.
Is this like people like entering
Yeah,
areas?
entering a parish servitude, and there's a waterway in one of the subdivisions.
They put up a gate now. If it's a parish servitude, we can put us a
There is a
pretty
gate
stout
there.
case.
There's a gate there, and we met about it. I don't want to get too in detail about it. Some stuff happened recently, and I just, there is, next to the gate, between the ditch and the gate itself, there was barbed wire, and we looked at it, and so I just wanted to see if that's something that we can potentially, if they tear the dang gate down, then, I mean, we can't really do nothing about that, but we have to have public access for the gate, like Jade said, but next to the gate, that's what's getting torn down, and there seems to be no solution, and we can't technically put a permanent structure there, but we can. I mean, we have access to excavators and all the tractor equipment. Why can't we put something that literally, if somebody wants to take it, they better drag it down the road or Toyota? And it kind of fixes that. Four-wheelers are going through there a lot, and there was just a tragic accident in this place. And not,
As long as it's in the parish servitude, putting
It
something
is.
outside the servitude is where we get, so we're not gonna be able to prevent them from going
No,
outside of the
and that's
servitude
what I'm saying, we're not gonna be able to, I mean, again, a lock's only for, honest folks,
Yeah.
so, I know we certainly need a gate to open and close and go in and out of there to clean that ditch out, but, on side of that is where it's happening. And, we got some rods, I think, on each side, and barbed wire. I think we could do a better job in that sense. And me and Jay talked about it, but I just wanted to see from you guys, what the availability of some of that material is, because I don't see it readily available around the parish. But, I mean, we got a concrete company in Prairieville, I believe.
But we can put some 8-inch steel posts down in concrete so deep that, I'll tell you what, it require more than a truck to pull them out, or require an excavator.
I've got several calls on it, and it's
We've done
just,
it, we've done it
it's,
before, so, yeah,
it's-
there's some different things we can do.
Yeah.
Just get with the administration, we'll figure it
but
out.
it has to be I would assume it has to be something movable, for the drainage servitude to clean the thing out and whatnot, so.
All right, we'll take a look.
Ron's like, I don't know.
We can do that. I do have a comment real quick, Chair, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Right on the side of Jamie Brown was employee Randy James. And he recently retired from Public Works with 40 years of service. So I just wanted to call that out. It's probably one of the last pictures you see of Randy James. So kudos to him, and proud to have worked on the side of him.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that to our attention. I appreciate it. Everybody good? All right, 7B, Mr. Samuel, all you.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, going into my report, give an update on the state highway contract. We're currently 81% done on mowing. Right now, we're in progress of 431. We still have 44 left to do. Our spraying is complete, and our litter is right up on that as well. We should be set to be completed by the end of this month. Lifehouse Church contract update. You can see the totals, what our departments have spent for the life of this contract. Current balance remaining so far is at $80,000. Call center and work order metrics for us this last few months. You can see 2024 in the yellow. We seem to be establishing a trend for what's coming in. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen in the next 2 months, to see how well our maintenance program has been actually curbing our public requests. What's come in by activity code, most of it's cut off road right now. We've had a lot come in with trees and stuff, been hitting a lot of buses lately. Our completion rate for this month is about normal for what we've seen for average of the last two years. Some of our internal work orders, this is all of our completed preventative work, all of our maintenance cycles, as well as our state highway contract. And some of our activities by code of what we've been doing internally to break down those numbers that you just saw. Does anyone have any questions? I know it's not as fancy as Jade's, but the numbers.
I believe Mr. Malonzo had a question. It's coming back up.
Yeah, on our Lifehouse contract, so we're down to 80K, Is that something that we envision that we're gonna wanna renew?
Amend to the contract amount. I believe we just signed a 2-year CEA, correct?
So, yeah, I need to dig into that.
Sure.
And didn't you just say we had 80,000 left on the not to exceed?
Yes.
Right, and, like, I mean, do we feel confident that's gonna get us, like, through the end of the year?
No, and that's what
Right.
I need to go back and see. I thought we voted on an amendment to get to the end of the year, so I'm not sure what's happening
Correct.
here. So I need to run these numbers.
Yeah, that's correct. I remember because we gave the presentation to
Because we wanted to
Lifehouse.
start over in December and do a December to December contract, so I need to figure out what happened here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no, I appreciate it.
No, I mean, I think everybody's been overly satisfied with that agreement for
But
some
we were
time.
supposed to go to the end of the year, so something's off.
Okay. I do have one question, and this is actually gonna be for Jade or Ron, and it just clicked because of the DOTD agreement we have, for grass cutting. Back in, I don't remember, 2020 or 2021, you remember we executed the CEA with DOTD for the ability to do any drainage, right, in their servitude? Is that something that's been helpful, that we've utilized a good bit?
Yeah, because, I mean, if you remember, the issue was we would dig to the servitude or right away and we would
Right,
stop.
and we would
then
stop.
the outfall is not but 300 feet down, and we couldn't continue that digging. So that allowed us to continue to the nearest outfall.
Right. I mean, we
It
worked
makes
on
all the
that
difference in the
for-
world.
Yeah, like, I think we worked on that for like 6 months, and now, there's no monetary value there for us, right? But it does give us the ability, to help our citizens. You dig a parish road and you hit a state highway and you can't touch it.
Well, they
What's-
actually, in your district on 937, I believe, right by New River.
Yep.
You had a very bad problem there, and we entered into that agreement for that project, and matter of fact, DOTD called us and asked us to use it. They provided the materials, and I think we provided the materials, and they did the labor.
Okay.
But we've been working, coinciding, and Jade's probably got a few other projects that they've,
We have a perfect
Recently
example right now out on Highway 30, where we've worked very hard to establish the north side of 30 through Industrialplex, but we had just right away to the plant entrances that could not be remediated. The state can't get out there. Obviously, the plants can't touch it, so with our CEA, we're able to finish the project we started and give that benefit to those plant areas to give them their outfalls.
Gotcha.
So we're at, that actually is in process right now. So it's very, very beneficial to us, and, look, I give kudos to Mr. Aaron, he is so helpful with working with us. So it works really good.
What do we get in return for that? Other than.
So they help with bulk supplies. I mean, but it was understood from day one, that DOTD didn't have the funds to pay us to do it. But there was ample opportunities to where we were cleaning our servitude, but we were bookend, with the state DOTD servitude, so it made our project almost useless, right? And so we asked them if we could, as we see fit. Now, right, and we made it very clear, we're not taking over, your drainage servitude.
Yeah,
We-
we are, I mean, we would need something in return,
Right.
it seemed like.
Right. No, it just gives us the ability to maintain and improve DOT servitude as we see fit for parish drainage projects, without having to call and ask them every single time.
Can we get that first slide back up? I'm sorry, second slide. That one.
Okay, that one?
Yeah. So, percentage complete, are we on track? Are we ahead of schedule? It
Yes,
seems like you got a lot done, is what I'm
Yes.
getting at.
Yes, and we've actually been able to get this far within our normal operations with no overtime so far.
Wonderful. I mean, that's great. Like I said, when I saw it, it didn't quite click, but it seems like we're, middle of the year and you're pretty high.
So
And we're getting ready to start right back
you
all over
understand, we
again.
gotta do this twice. So he's on his first round.
Yes, and as soon as we
Then
start
over.
stop, all back again.
Yeah, maybe
Understood.
sometimes 4 times. It just depends. We're early in the growing season, so we're gonna.
Yeah,
Once
understood.
he completes 100%, then we start over.
Correct.
Yeah, with that contract, it's 4 total servicing, 2 being mowing, and you can supplement the other 2 with herbicide.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, understood. So,
yeah.
it's almost like a biannual Okay, understood. All right.
Yep.
I'm good. Any other questions?
You said no overtime so far this year?
Related to the state highway contract.
Right. Wow. Well, good job. I mean,
Thank you.
I mean, last year, I think we were a couple hundred hours deep in OT at this point because I think we had such a rainy
Yeah,
spring that we had
last
to
year
catch
was
up.
very unusual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good deal.
Good deal.
Very good.
Mr. Varnum?
I just got it might be a stupid question, but who and how do we determine what ditches we're spraying? Is it just if we have a shortfall somewhere and we just, we'll go ahead and spray that ditch instead of mow it and whatnot? I'm just, again, stupid
Are we
question.
still talking about state highways, or are we talking?
Yeah. Just parish wide. I mean, not just state highways. I mean, just parish wide. Do we have some type of, I mean, somebody internally that makes that decision on what ditches to spray versus what ditches to cut?
Yeah, some residents don't want us to spray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and that's why.
depends, it depends on the condition of the
Because in some
road.
instances, you'll have erosion and those types.
Yeah, well, like
that's why
right
I asked.
now, what's the road off of 73? Was it Sebro?
Yeah.
Right now, my supervisors know, do not spray on Sebro right now.
Yeah.
That's the only one that we have a no-go on the entire road just because of the conditions of the road. If they are maintained, we don't spray or cut. If they aren't, then we spray and cut. And way we have it set up right now, we service all of our state roads. When they're finished with that, we start on a parish road, and the timing's almost perfect between the service cycles. If we're not spraying parish roads, we're spraying state roads.
But what I'm saying, what's again, this is bare bones probably, like you're looking at the ditch, who decides if we're spraying that ditch or if we're cutting that ditch? Is it a timing thing that you're spraying them because you can't get to them to cut them? Is it a maintenance cost
It's a time,
versus?
it's applying herbicide to slow the growth is the most efficient and cost-effective thing the
Okay,
parish can do.
that was my question. So it was
Yeah.
gotcha.
So usually about the time we're finished, it's time to start again. So it's never really a splitting the hairs on timing. It's just our demand just about meets our supply to be able to do
help you
it.
keep up, yeah, that was my question, if there was a certain area, certain streets you only sprayed or something like that, again.
I mean,
very,
like obviously we don't
very
go-
basic, stupid question, but.
You know, inside subdivisions, we normally don't go inside of those. There's very few in subdivisions that we actually spray. It's mostly, you know, your surface streets.
You good?
Yep, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Appreciate the update. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, item number 8, motion adjourned. Mr. Malonson, second, Mr. Varnado. We are adjourned.